everybody. Welcome to another edition of Insights into Addiction and Mental Health. I'm your host, Scott Jones, and I want to thank Neuropsychiatric Addiction Clinic for bringing us this show. And what we'll be talking about are different aspects of addiction, mental health, treatment, and the people behind both treatment and the people who are in treatment, and all the different things that are going on. There's a lot going on out there in the world with addiction and mental health. We've seen an uptick or an increase in everything from overdoses to arrests to but there's not as many people going into treatment these days, and a lot of that has to do with maybe the COVID that we just went through and are still going through at this point. Maybe it has to do with maybe an apathy that is out there, but we got to stop that. We've got to pay attention. People are dying every day, and these aren't just strangers. These are our friends, our family members, our mothers, our fathers, brothers, sisters, sons, and daughters are all out there suffering. And we need to make sure that if we see that there's something going on with someone that we love, that we call somebody, we do something about it. Waiting until tomorrow, there may not be a tomorrow. So make sure you do something about it today. And I'm really excited. My next guest, and this is something a little different. This is Nicole, who has agreed to talk to us. She is actually at Neuropsychiatric Addiction Clinic right now. She is new, coming into recovery, and is really just, she's brave. I can't say it any other way. She's brave. She's a beautiful young woman. She's absolutely brave to share her story with us and talk to us about what she's been through and how she's getting through it. So without further ado, and you're tired of looking at me, let's bring Nicole in. Nicole, how are you, darling?
Good, Scott. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. First of all, thank you so much for sharing your time and your story with us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
First of all, let's establish that you are you're in treatment right here in Florida. You're working with Neuropsychiatric Addiction Clinic, or NPAC, as some of us call it. But you're a Florida native. You come right from the other coast over in Newport Richey, right?
Yes, sir. Oh,
Now,
yes, Scott. Sorry.
yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I just don't want to seem like the old guy here. But tell me, what led you? I mean, have you had a problem for a long time, or is this something that's kind of recent for you?
No, I've been in active addiction since I was probably 17. I had a 3-year break when I went to prison in 2005 and got out in 2009. That's it. From then on, I've been just in it probably about a good 20 years.
Wow.
Sure.
You say you went to prison. Was that because of drugs and alcohol as well?
Yes, prescription fraud.
Wow.
So I've been
Wow.
addicted to opiates my whole life, pretty much since I was a child.
So when you say you were a child, can you remember around the age when you started and the circumstances on how you started?
I was like 14, but my parents were real bad alcoholics. They had hog-tied me, gagged me, and shaved my head when I was 12. So they thought that was going to straighten me up, but they were bad addicts and alcoholics, and it just made me worse. That's when I dove into my addiction head first 2 years later.
So you had parents who were active, who were trying to correct your behavior while they were still doing the behavior.
Yeah, by tying me up and gagging me and cutting my hair off.
I assume that was not an effective treatment.
No, it made
No.
it worse, a lot worse. I was gung-ho after that. Like I didn't have
Yeah.
no respect for nothing after that. Like the people that were supposed to protect me were against me, and just it did a lot. They did the best they did the best with me as they could, I guess. I mean, I don't know how to really
Yeah.
make an excuse for them, but
Well, I mean, if they could, I mean, certainly without dealing with their own demons, there's no way they're going to help you with yours. There
no,
was no
definitely
way.
not. Definitely not. It was like oil, it was like vinegar and milk. That's what they reminded me of. They fought all the time. I was fighting in school all the time because I didn't know how to communicate. That's how I communicated at home, fighting in this. So I was very aggressive as a child, and I ran off with boys and started. My first thing was Xanax. I started because the anxiety was bad all the time,
Right.
and then it was on after that. Like I found something that took that feeling of being scared and anxiety at home, and it would make it stop.
Right.
Immediately. So blacking out and all that stuff. If I was blacked out, I couldn't remember. I couldn't feel nothing. It was irrelevant.
So there was a big part of that was self-medicating at the beginning, that was just trying to quell the anxiety and stop those the fear and everything else, right?
Yeah, and then I started burning myself and cutting myself because I didn't it would take the feeling, and then the feeling that I would feel for being home wasn't love or anything, so I would, like, try to feel something, you know? So I did that a lot to myself, and the drugs just got worse after that, but up until 35 days ago, they were at its worst, like, I've never been that low in my life.
Now, a lot of people, and forgive me if this, and if this, if we reach any point here where it becomes difficult to answer, just tell me,
No, yeah, it's fine.
and you can tell me to shut up. I've got kids. I've been told that before. Don't worry about it. Uh, but there's a lot of people out there to think, especially with this, when we're young and at those ages of 15, 16, 17, 18, when we're really getting into the addiction, we're starting to use. A lot of people look at it like, oh, they just don't care. That's not the case, is it?
No, and that's sad, people think that. I know, like, junkies, they feel like, "Oh, they did it to themselves." It's not, it's an act of what people have done to us. It's covering up hurt. It might start off like we're using and getting high, but when it takes hold of you, there it's barely people come back from that if they don't die or end up in prison.
Absolutely, and it's almost the opposite. Is that we almost care too much because we become very hypersensitive, and that becomes painful. So we have to medicate ourselves
Yeah.
from that because we don't know how to do anything else, and we don't know how to deal with it.
Exactly, and mostly people that are active in their addiction or not, they care about exactly. They're very sensitive. It's like somebody with nothing giving somebody something else. You know, they have nothing and they still give to you. I've been in places, no lights, no electric, living out of cans of cold, spaghettios, uh, building fires to have hot water to bathe in. Like I was, and I wasn't just doing the fentanyl. I was doing weed, fentanyl, Xanax, meth, and drinking by this point. So just imagine the means I had to get the money up to supply that habit because nothing could numb me good enough unless I was blacked out.
Yeah. Now, I mean, some people might be shocked about how your parents handled you. Um, but you being out there, meeting a lot of people out there, because the one thing we do is we find each other out there, don't we?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, that's not an unusual story that we come from addicted homes where there was either abuse or their attempts at trying to help us were really misguided and wrong. But that's not an odd story. That's what most of us go through, isn't it?
Yes, if not worse. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot worse, and we cover it up with a substance, and people dismiss that like it's nothing, and it's not. It's a cry for help. It's that monkey gets on your back, people can't just say, "Okay, I'm gonna stop and put it down the next day." That thing takes a hold of your soul, and people that haven't been addicts will never understand it.
Yeah, and there's certainly, it's not like, even if there was a possibility of us helping ourselves in some way, we never had the opportunity to learn those skills on how to do that anyway. So we're completely clueless. Now, during your using, now you said you used for pretty much a period of 20 years,
Yeah, or
right?
more than, yeah, I'm 40 now, so, yeah, I would say even longer than that, about a good 25,
Okay.
27 years.
Um, now we're not gonna try to, we're not gonna make the ridiculous statement that every moment was horrible because somehow we found a way to survive it. So,
Right.
but
You
how much
adapt.
how much of that was just really painful more than anything else?
Oh my, a lot of it. A
Yeah,
lot of it. I hated myself. I had a choice to be a mother and an addict, and I couldn't do both. So I chose to be an addict, and I let my kids be somewhere with family where they don't know what it's like for mommy to wake up and I'm dope sick, or men in and out the house, or no electric, no water, being cold, hungry. My kids never ever had to feel that. And I had to make that choice because I wasn't gonna half step with anything besides my all in with my addiction or all in being a mom. So
now
I chose.
how painful was that? I mean, I can only imagine. You probably wanted to choose the kids, but you
Oh,
knew that wasn't going to work because you had no idea how to get out of what you were in.
I tried. I tried a lot. I tried going to groups, doing drug tests. I would fail every time. I couldn't let it go. I loved my kids, but I knew that the life that I could give them wasn't a life that would be good for anything that I love. Because I would not wanna hurt when you love someone, you don't hurt them, and
Yeah.
that.
I like to explain it sometimes to people that, and maybe this is a good way to explain it for you is, it's not a matter of whether we loved our kids or not. It's about we knew we couldn't live in that love because something else was taking over.
Yes, I knew my addiction was greater
Yeah.
than anything, and why drag my children and submerge them into all the hard things and abuse I went through. I couldn't imagine my children being with me. Like, there's no way. No way. I would be a horrible mother if I drug them through that.
So, I mean, that's a long road. I mean, there had to be times when you thought, "This is it. It's never gonna change." How desperate do you become at those points, and how hopeless do you feel?
I woke up to die every day. When I woke up and I seen that I was alive still, I would break down and horribly cry. When I got Narcaned, I'd wake up freaking out mad. I just was ready to go. Like, I couldn't handle the suffering. When the sun would come up and I'd wake up, I'd say, "Not, I don't have to do this again. God, please, why do I got to do this again?" And it was a vicious cycle that just never, ever ended until I packed my shit in the middle of the night and I said, I can't do it anymore. I can't." I was at the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the rock. And I called this place and they sent an Uber and I said I kept calling back a couple times saying, "Well, just wait 10 more minutes." But finally I said, "You know what? Just come." They came. I packed my stuff in the middle of the night. I got in that car with what I had and that was it. I knew that if I wanted to get clean, I had to leave the state or come to the whole other coast because I need to be somewhere where if I left or was let out, I would have plenty of time to think about it before I made it back to where I live, around the people I know where I can get whatever I want.
That's a good point, and a lot of people wonder about why move, why go to a different state, or why go outside, because you don't wanna have it that accessible to you.
No,
Because,
and
we all have those moments of, "Screw it, I'm just gonna leave." But if you have to pause and think about that, it gives you a chance to change. Have you had that experience then since being there?
yeah, I had a little bit of experience.
You're smiling, it must've been a good one.
Well, where I wanted to leave, but I'm glad that I didn't. And I know at 4 hours to get home, I had no what am I gonna do? For anything, I'd have to wait 4 hours for a ride to come get me or 4 hours to get a ride to you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
I usually calm down within the first 30 minutes anyway of anything that goes down, especially now, like, my life has changed, like, I can't express it enough, and it's not, like, because I'm on a talk show or anything like that, like, this place changed my life, like, I can't stress it enough. Yeah, you walk away from everything, but it gives you a time to focus on yourself. And if them people aren't good people and they can't wait for you and support you, you don't need them in your life. Because I wouldn't change this for the world. It's like a drug in itself. Just waking up smiling, knowing I don't have to, I don't have to go through that again. I don't think I would make it, again. I love my life now. I love
Can you remember the last time before this that you've had a genuine smile?
about 20 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Probably when my daughter was born. She was born 17 years ago, so probably right then. That would probably be the last smile
So
that I, gave anybody or had. I was very serious. I didn't play around. I didn't kiki and laugh. I wasn't a joyful person. I was miserable, and I don't even know how I did it. But now I wake up, I'm like, I look forward to breakfast. I look forward to going to the groups. I know I say that funny that word breakfast, but I look forward to going to the groups. The staff here is amazing. It's like a rehab for celebrities. That's what it, like, reminded me of because you get massages, go to the horse farm, and these people care. If you don't have nothing, they will make sure you have and they don't just bring you some generic, Bob White
Yeah.
stuff. They look out, and I don't know, there's not one person I can say here that's not amazing. Every single one of the staff, I think, and Aurelio is amazing too. So, everyone's amazing. My counselor, just everything. I know this
Well,
sounds
what about Captain? What do you think about Captain?
I love him. He's such a cool dog.
Captain is the dog that they have there, and, there's something kinda special about having just Captain there, the dog that you can kinda pet and say
Yeah.
hi to, and it's almost kind of like a nice way to rediscover loving things, you know?
Yes, yes, and then we just got a lady here, she's got a service dog, and I help her with the dog and stuff so she can, because the dog don't like to be in the room, he'll cry. It's a new place. So that's even awesome too. It gives me something to do, and, usually we make jewelry or, we're in group all day long, but it's not like group where you're sitting in like a class in a chair. There's a big couch and everybody's just laying around just talking about our life and things, and we all connect here. Like, it's really like a big family. It's not like hospitalization like how people would think it. It's truly like a family. It's like, the staff comes in every day and they wake you up morning, breakfast, you have big, beautiful beds, you get Wi-Fi in your room, Netflix, all that stuff. It's like a country club. Like it's to change your life. Like it's amazing.
Yeah, again, all that comfort and the cool stuff is terrific, but it's all there with a real purpose. They
Yes.
want to get to know you and they want to talk about your trauma. They want to talk about your drug use. They want to talk about your behaviors. And do you feel that people have gotten to know you there and that they've opened up to you as well?
Oh yes, yes, definitely. I'm probably the longest resident that's here now. It's only usually like a 30-day program, but it's really just when you're ready. And they're amazing. Like my exciting part is waking up in the morning. I love when they come in, they're like vitals, breathics. It's just so like it's so nice and cheery, and everyone walks on, they're like, "Good morning," and everyone's. And it's not like if you're in a mental institution or how it is, and you can't be like affectionate. Like you can give hugs to your counselor, and it's not nothing inappropriate. It's very just loving, caring, and just people need that. You don't need to withdraw from somewhere and be in a hospital bed to get mentally and sobriety. You need something that's gonna kind of baby you through it. They say baby steps. Well, you need to be babied also. I
Sure.
believe that you have to like pampered really, and not just like, oh, be here, you're clean, and then you get out and then you're gonna do the same thing. This place like nurtures you into being a better person. It's amazing. I've never been anywhere like this place.
Well, that leads me right to where I was going to go next. Is perfect. Is that there are some places that still believe you've got to break the addict down and pretty much beat them into submission, and then you rebuild them. That's not what they do there. They treated you with
No.
respect and kindness
Oh
from the
God.
very first day, right?
Oh my God, yes. Like I remember waking up and I was crying and the nurse came in, Miss Joanne, and she hugged me. She's like, "Oh, it's all right." And they gave me medicine to taper down and stuff. And it wasn't like just throwing you in a room and chow time. You know what I mean? They didn't. And the beds are like, and you have regular comforters, and it's not set up like a hospital. And I gotta stress that enough. Like people that want to get recovery, please come here because it's not what they think. You got YouTube in your room. You can stay up all night you want. You can smoke. They supply the cigarettes. Like the staff is just amazing. Everybody listens. They give you chances. They understand. They try to place you into a PH program after this. That's even amazing. And I have no plan on going home for a while. I'm gonna go to a PH place up here and then just do the program until I get like maybe 6 months in to where I know I'm more headstrong, physically strong, spiritually strong, and then step where I need to step out because I don't need nothing to ever break me down again because I will die next time. There's no coming back.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there are also things that are worse than death, and sometimes that's waking up every morning, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes dying isn't the worst thing that happens to us.
Oh
It's
no.
it's the it's the pain of living that's almost worse.
Oh, yes, I was praying to die, like, that would've been a
Yeah,
blessing in my heav living was I thought I was already in hell, like,
yeah.
I took it to the I've OD'd so many times, I just started feeling the left side of my head again, like, from ODing so many times, but it does get better, like, it does, and once I don't know I was so scared to do it, you think you're gonna lose the people you love and this, but you know what? You gain so much, you gain yourself, and once you have yourself, you don't need nobody else to love like that.
Yeah,
You do, but not, like, depending on
not
you like
like
you were
that.
before. Right.
Because you get something from yourself so that the other people in your life now enhance you. You don't count on them to give you everything because you get
Yep.
stuff from yourself now.
Yeah, and nobody wants to hear you crying and whining all the time. That's what I was doing. Now I'm happy. Like I don't I want to go home. I miss the people there, but not more than I miss myself. And I'm fulfilled all alone. And the blessings that come once you get clean are just they're abundance. God truly blesses people abundantly when they go to hell and return. Wipe it
I
off.
it's listening to you, Nicole, it's hard to believe how far you've come in such a short period of time because you sound so full of hope.
Yeah.
Have you gotten hope back in your life again?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Just waking up every day, not looking for drugs or being sick or rocking back and forth or crying wondering I'm gonna do with we're gonna get kicked out or where the drugs are gonna come or what I gotta do for the drugs that day. I could just wake up and it's breakfast. So I'm just happy. Pancakes, whatever, they'll make whatever you want for breakfast. I know I say that word wrong, but they do. Anything you want. And you could have
Oh,
doubles and
good. You know what? Keep saying it that way. I love it. It's great. It's great.
it's always
It's
been
great. You're just being you, though. You're
Yeah.
just being you. And, you said something to me before, actually, before we even went on the air. You're like, I wasn't ashamed of going out there and doing all that nasty stuff. I'm not going to be ashamed now.
No.
And I think in our recovery, we need to be loud and we need to be proud of who we are and we need to be happy and
Yeah.
and say silly words and have a good time. It's
Yeah.
so important, isn't it? You want to
It
have
is.
fun in your life.
Yeah, it is. And to have all the people that support you after you get sober, they just come. It's you don't have to search for them. They're just right there. It's abundantly. I'm very happy. Like when I came in here, I think that's why they asked for me to do this broadcast because I didn't come out of my room for 7 straight days. I slept round the clock. It's how hard I was going. Like God needed a day, I needed a week to rest. On
I like that. It's good.
So on that 8th day, I came out and I was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. They're like, "Hi," and I'm like, "Hey," and they helped me through the withdrawals and everything. People are mostly scared of that. What are they gonna do when we get there and I'm withdrawing? Well, these people take care of you. They give you what you need to withdraw in a good manner. And I think that's the most fear that most addicts have. Getting into treatment is, I'm gonna go cold turkey. How am I gonna do this? Man, you have
Yeah.
your own bathroom in your room, so it's accessible, your own shower, because people get sick, they're not feeling well. They taper you down with things, they give you things to feel comfortable at the beginning, and they work with you. So it's not a hard process to come off the medicine. And they
And
also
that's
have
important.
maintenance.
That's important because a lot of times people think about therapy and stuff when they're in treatment, but the medical side is really, really important
Yes.
because you go there and you're going through your detox and you're going through your residential, and during all that time, your body's going up and down and it's healing, and it's one day you feel pretty good, the next day you feel a little bit off. So it's really good. How is the medical care there? How would you rate it?
Awesome. I would rate it 1,000. The medical care is awesome. Not only is the medical care great, the nurses that work here are awesome. They give you vitamins for them. They make sure you're fine. There's not one person I've seen come here that was laying in a corner on their bed shivering and sick. Like like I said, nurturing. They cradle you like a baby, and then you start making your baby steps. Where do you think you have to be before you take baby steps? You got to be cradled, and
Right.
that's that's what it is. Then you start walking.
Now they
But
expect you though. I mean, I know we've talked about you're being cradled and you're being hugged and you're being held, but they're expecting you to work. They're expecting you to really dig deep and make the changes. It's not all
um,
hugs and love.
no, no, no.
There's a little bit of tough love saying you got to get some work done, right?
Oh, there definitely is. Like, there's a group that are stern and regulated that you need to go to, and you got to be working on yourself. They're not gonna. These beds could be for people that need them and that are wanting to help themselves. If you're not in here and wanting to work for yourself, then you don't need to be here because yeah, all that, but there's the deep stuff. You're right. There's days when people are upset and crying or not, but they try to make it as easy as possible for those days, to get through them because that's the most important part. You get through them and you start another day. The sun will shine tomorrow. It will be another day. Like, and there's no grudges here. Like a lot of people come in, they get upset or they're angry, but they work, man, they'll walk you around with you. Like I said, the smoking alone, a lot of people worry about that too. They supply the cigarettes, you have your smoke breaks, but the groups are like awesome. They're not just like, I don't even know it's like people lounging around on the couch and, just talking to each other and learning new things. And then we play games sometimes, to learn stuff. And, it's great. It's great. It's
That's
hard work, and I went through a lot, but today I'm ready to move on to my next, step of recovery because I'm just ecstatic. I figure like if I could put all that work into chasing drugs, I could be a beast at, getting active in my recovery.
You had mentioned you had become quite hard while you were out there. You had become very angry and protective and protecting yourself, but Um, are you starting to see yourself reaching out to help other people now?
Oh yeah.
And what does that feel like now to do that?
It's amazing. It's amazing. Like we all help each other in here. And I see like my friend Josh, he he had to write 30 things that were good about himself. And he was telling me about it. So I got a notebook and paper out. Like he wasn't even recognizing it. I'm like, I numbered it all the way to 30. So I'm like, well, you're nice. You know what I'm saying? I was like, all right, we're on number 10 now. He's like, what? I'm like, come on, 20 more. And he got it done. We got it done within like 10 minutes. And he didn't even realize like that he was sitting down and doing that. It was no heavy thought. It was kind of like through chat and conversation. So people care about you. They wake up and they say good morning. everybody, I would love to help anybody as they help me through my days. There's days where the peers are like, Nicole, just calm down. It's going to be all right.
Nicole, let's do a little before and after kind of thing here. Before you came into NP, how did you see the world?
I was hopeless. I was in psychosis so bad. I thought the IB something was after me and Visceral Bureau of Investigation. I got that from somebody in here. They were talking about that. They're like, it's true, man. I thought everybody was against me. It was everybody. It didn't matter. And man, I was bad. I was bad. I was,
And
like I
today,
said,
Nicole, looking
today
out
I
at the
want to
world, what do you see now?
the beauty in it. That's all I can see because I've been in hell for so long in my addiction that now that my eyes are open, I just see the nice. I only focus on the nice things. Nothing really bad happens anymore because I'm not searching it. I'm not in that gutter. I'm not in that back alley. I'm not in my life. And when you come out into the light, God will bless you. Whoever God is to anybody, whatever their God is, it's true.
It's I've often said that people who have seen the dark side are blessed because every ray of light means something to us. Every moment of peace, it means something. We don't take anything for granted, and it's all special. So I'm glad that you're now one of those people that can now see that in the glorious nature of just one ray of light.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
we know real darkness, don't we?
yeah, and people say, when you're broken, yeah, when you're broken, but that's you're broken. The cracks are where the light comes in. You would have no way of, you need that little bit of hope, like a mustard seed, like they talk about.
Yeah.
That's all you really need. If you could set it and just realize, get through a few days, maybe a few more days. I don't really say day by day, minute by minute, but really it's kind of it just goes. Just get through one day, and then the next day is even better than the first day. You'll always feel a sense of some kind of relief. It's automatic through your health, through what you're learning. Like everybody here, you should see them. You'll see them when they come in, and then they'll have their breakthrough within a week, and everybody's smiling, walking around, and talking, not with their head down or crying. I cried. Oh, I cried every day, all day when I got here. I couldn't do a group without a box of tissues, but now it takes a lot to really be sad because I don't have nothing to be sad about anymore. I know I can change, and I see it already, and I'm there. 30 days. If it's 30 days in jail or something like that, people, you don't get the tools you need like in here. 30 days is like 3 months in here, really, of intensive learning to fix yourself. Everything. It's amazing.
Well, there's no place in the world you're going to go where you're going to go someplace and what they're going to say is, listen, for 30 days or 45 days or whatever your length is, here's what we're going to do. We're going to feed you. We're going to take care of you. And we've got an entire staff whose only job is to make your life better.
Yeah.
Where else can you do that?
I've never been
Normal
anywhere
people
else.
need that. Normal people need shit like that. I mean,
Yeah.
forget about addicts.
I,
Everybody needs something like that.
and I've been in so many treatments places. I've done it all, but this place, I don't know what it is. Like I would be all ready to go home. No, I'm gonna be into another PH up here. I'm not even trying to go to that coast, and I don't even know a soul up here except the people in the program. And I'm not scared at all. I was definitely scared where I was, but I know He's just gonna walk me through it. Anything's possible when you get clean. I know people used to say that to me, and I didn't understand it. I didn't grasp it. But God, if I could just, if people just knew, like they have no reason to be scared to come here. They should just come and just give it a shot because I promise they'll stay here and they'll break through and they'll feel great. And I just wish everybody could get it. I feel bad for the suffering addicts out there and the people still dying because God gave me this chance and I wish everybody had it.
Well, as much as we affected so many people when we were out there, and we hurt a lot of people, certainly,
Right.
we have
Definitely.
the same effect in our recovery. So, I know you're hoping and wishing that others will get it by your success. Others will get it, and and again, one more before and after. I mean, you've already mentioned before waking up every morning almost like mad that you woke up, almost,
No, not almost. I
well,
definitely
yeah,
was.
definitely mad. It's like not another freaking day,
Or an
and
arcade, I'd be bad. I didn't want no, but I have a DNR on on my hospital thing
yeah.
since I was 30, so
And I understand that, and it's like, I was mad at myself for not having the guts to take my own life, but being too afraid to keep living. I was stuck in a limbo, and I understand that. But now we're flipping the script, and now we're in the after, and it's like, are you looking forward to tomorrow? Are you looking forward to what you're going to do in your future? And have you thought about what you would like to do?
I wanna work with dogs. I have this obsession with dogs, especially pit bulls, and I love them. Like, that's I don't care where the world leads me, but that's what I wanna do. I thought about, like, what I really wanna do, and, like, that's it. That'd be perfect. Like, I would clean kennels all day if I had to. I don't care, walk dogs. But, man, I would it wouldn't be possible. It wouldn't be possible then because nobody would even want me around skitzing out, let
Right.
alone with their dog, their children, probably not even their fish, you know what I mean? So but it's
Oh,
different now, and, my daughter's even, she said hi to me on, Snapchat, and I'm writing my son, and slowly getting my kids, the best I can. I know trust has to be established, and it's gonna take a
yeah.
long time, so that's why I said a good 6 months away, I could prove that, I did this all on my own. It wasn't forced, I wasn't Baker acted, I wasn't whatever that is called, Marchman acted.
Yeah, yeah.
I packed up my stuff, and I called this number that I looked up on addiction, the 1-800 number, and they wanted to fly me out of state, but they gave me another number, and I wasn't even gonna call. The lady called me right away, and well, that's it. That was it. I kept them on hold for like probably a good 2 hours, saying, "Okay, just call back and send the Uber." And then finally, that last that psychosis hit me again, and I was like, you know what? Anywhere is better than this right now, and I'll deal with it whenever. And I even had I had 2 bags of fentanyl. I did one, and when I got here, I gave them the other bag, and that was it. I knew right then and there. I didn't try to conceal it. I didn't try to do it before I got here. I just enough was enough.
Good
I
for
didn't even
you.
want. Yeah.
Good for you. Now you know that that moment when you're kind of at that crossroad and you're thinking, I want to call, but it seems like it goes against your very nature to pick up and ask for help.
Yeah.
What do you want to say to somebody out there who's watching this and who is in the point that you were at, and they want to call, but they're afraid to call. They don't know if they should call. What do you want to tell them?
I wanna tell them, "Please call." Like, I know that anxiety is hitting them, and they're like, they don't know what they wanna do because they just wanna die, so it doesn't matter, but I wish people would just call and come here because they would see that this place is like it's freedom in itself. It's freedom with your soul. It's freedom. It's comfortable. It's not what they think. It's scary, but I promise you these people will make sure that whatever their needs are, they're met and that they get better. And that's the point. And then they will be happy. Like everybody smiles in here. Like everybody's happy. It's not, you don't find a common place going somewhere where everybody wakes up and everyone's happy and happy to see each other and you know what I mean, or hanging out at night playing board games. Or people might say, "Oh, it's boring, it's shallow," but it's not because if you're not craving drugs or that mentality is not in your head, you're content with things like that.
And you start to experience real smiles, real laughter,
And real friends.
real friends, and real caring,
Yes.
um, and even moments without any fear, which is a
None.
nice thing, right?
Oh my god, yes, like, just I have no anxiety anymore, and I used to have 30 anxiety attacks a day. None. I got
Wow.
on medication, and, there's nothing to be scared of anymore because I know that if I'm sober, I can do anything. I literally can, like, I know it's just gonna come even if I can't do it, God's gonna put it there because that's what he does for his children that go to hell and come back and maintain being back, you know? I think the addicts are a lot stronger than just really a normal individual because they've already seen hell, and they bounce back from it, and anybody that judges that, they shouldn't because they're very strong and very heartwarming people, probably stronger than the average person at whatever they do. They're overachievers then, God blesses them abundantly.
Nicole, I don't want this to come off as condescending, but I'm so proud of you. That
Thank
is
you.
incredible, and I'm excited to have you as a part of our Florida recovery community, and I think you're going to do great things. I'm
Thank
really
you.
excited for where you're going to go next. And before we wrap up, I like to give people a chance. Is there anybody in particular there that you want to shout out to and say thank you for what you've done? Is there anybody in particular that you really want to give credit
Does it have
to?
to be one person, or can I say it real
It could
fast?
be
A bunch of
it could be
people?
a handful. It could be a handful.
Yes, everybody, Aurelio, Renee, Miss Sylvia, my counselor Beth, Erica, Lexus, Josh, Jameson, Rashad. I could keep going, like
Okay.
everybody. So yeah,
So everybody who works there.
everybody that works there, and the peers, Josh,
Yeah.
Antonio, Alejandro, just all Julia. I could just keep going on and on and on. So
How incredible to go from a place of darkness to a place where you have so much gratitude in your heart for so many people.
yeah, I truly
Um,
do.
That's a
And
big
Nadia. I
change.
forgot I didn't say Nadia and Mel too.
It's well, don't forget Bob. You're using his office.
Oh yeah,
Mention Bob
definitely
too.
Bob.
Yeah,
Bob's
yes,
just
yes.
a given. That's just
Yeah, he's a
this is already a big shout out. We don't even need to say it's so big.
yeah. Listen, Nicole, thank you so much for your bravery, and your courage and your strength, and more importantly, for just sharing your happiness with
Okay.
us. I think it's really, really important. And like she said, and I don't think I can say it better. Just grab that phone and make that call.
Yeah,
Just do it.
please do, because there's nothing better than this. You don't think it at the time, but it's truly like it's just fulfilling your soul inside and out. There won't be that anxiety no more. It won't be that hopelessness. It goes away. It truly does.
It does, and it's replaced.
Yes,
It's
it
not an
is.
emptiness. It's replaced
Exactly.
with
It's
love
replaced.
and hope and caring and everything else.
Yep. It is.
Nicole, I'm going to ask you to just hang in there for a moment. I'm
Mhm.
going to put you in the back room for a minute, and then
Okay.
I'll be back with you in a second. But I
Okay.
just need to wrap up some stuff here. Thanks for
Okay.
joining us, Nicole.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. So I want to thank everybody for joining us here on Insights into Addiction and Mental Health, brought to you by Neuropsychiatric Addiction Clinic. If you want to know more about neuropsychiatric, go to npaddictionclinic.com, or you can call them at 844-282-1306. That's 844-282-1306. For now, I'm Scott Jones saying thank you very much from everybody here at Insights into Addiction and Mental Health.